What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. This is your boy Narik. In this video, we're going to be doing episode 22 of our character ranker series, and we're going to be ranking Sienna Guillory's performance as Jill Valentine in the Resident Evil video game series. Now, for those who don't know, Jill Valentine is one of the main protagonists from the Resident Evil video game series, and in the live adaptation, Sienna Guillory plays her in Resident Evil Apocalypse as well as Resident Evil Retribution. Jill Valentine is not only one of the best characters in the Resident Evil video game series, but one of the most highly recognized female characters in video game history. So, Sienna Guillory has some pretty big shoes to fill, and the question is, does she manage to do this in this heavily flawed film series? In my opinion, she actually does do a pretty good job. I think she actually does do the role. Now, there's a lot that the film could have did a little bit more towards her, giving her a bit more of an importance. We'll definitely get to that later. Now, as my just first impressions, though, I think she did a fantastic job as Jill Valentine. There are very few women I actually think they probably could have cast for the role that would actually fit the bill, and I think she actually does a freaking phenomenal job. Now, in terms of actual character, is she as well portrayed to the character in the games as she is in the film? And I actually think that she does give the character enough. Does a good job of portraying that character well enough, and I think the character itself was pretty well written to the point where, yes, I think, she's actually pretty close to the source material. I didn't really have because Jill is pretty calm. She's pretty level-headed. She doesn't really panic like that. She's resourceful. She's quick thinking, and she does have some pretty decent one-liners. And actually, she does a great job of portraying that in the films as well. She's resourceful, she's tough, she's actually fun at certain moments. She does give off that bit of wit and charm that makes for a good Jill Valentine, and I think that actually translates over pretty well when it comes to the actual character. The character is actually pretty tough, and I like that. I think that they did a pretty good job of balancing out like this badass woman shtick that they've been working on. Excuse me, guys. I just woke up like an hour ago. But anyways, I think that she does do a pretty good tough guy to the strong female role in the film. Because next to Alice, she was probably the most prominent next to Alice. So I really do like the fact that they did play a good bit with that. So it actually worked in my opinion. Also, in terms of when you think about the actual overall design, I think that the design actually, of course, they had to do. I mean, yes, she takes on the look. Okay, in each film, she does look like she does in the video game. Because in the video game, she has the little white shirt, right tube, whatever you want to call it, with the little skirt and the boots. And of course, the fifth game, she has the whole bodysuit. And then Apocalypse and Retribution, she actually looks like that. Now, it's pretty cool to see her like that because she actually looks the role. And my problems have always been, if you're going to pick someone that actually looks the role, can actually be the role. And I think that she actually looks the role and is the role. So I didn't really have too much of a problem working with them on that one. Also, I think she does a good job of looking like the actress, looking like the character. Also in Retribution, which is pretty unique because this is a pretty unique character ranker because we're doing the same character, but the two different personalities and looks in the two different games that translate over into the films. So it's pretty cool that we've seen it like that. And actually, I actually think that I pretty much buy her as Jill in Apocalypse. I buy the one in Retribution too, but there are certain moments where I think that they could have worked a little bit better with the character. But I think it's pretty cool too because unlike the game, you actually get to see kind of what she's doing in her background. So I really like that. But like I said, I think she looks just like the freaking character from the games. Now, if you sitting here looking at you like, oh, she shouldn't be really wearing that in a zombie apocalypse, I'm with you on that because she was just bare. She could put something on, some gear or something. Which I always wonder how in the hell people that wear gear get infected, but neither here nor there. But I think as far as the portrayals of the character in both Apocalypse and Retribution, it was done pretty good. It was done well enough to actually I pay straight to the comic book material. If there's any character in these films that they did right, that they nailed, it's definitely her character. So I'm not going to really rag on them about that. Overall looks, I think it's pretty cool too. I think she does what she needs to do. Now, the overall performance, like I said, I think Sienna Guillory is a pretty good actress. She's been in a couple of things that I've seen, and I relatively enjoy it. I like The Time Machine; it's one of my favorite movies, and even though she doesn't get a pretty big role in the film, she is the big influence of the film. So I didn't really mind her in that. I liked her at Aragorn. She did play a princess, and she was pretty tough. She was alright. She was okay in that. Um, so I didn't really mind her. Now I did come up with two actresses that I did, would be like, okay, yes, if they rebooted it and they were cast as just Valentine, I would not actually mind it. First one is Missy Peregrym, and the other one is Lindsay Funke. Now, these two actresses, I haven't really like watched all of their stuff, but as far as like a believable, like tough girl, smart, quick-witted character, I think that they can actually go with. Missy Peregrym played Scarlet in the Van Helsing television series, um, who and she was like this, pretty cool vampire slayer. But I liked her; she had a lot more depth, and I think that can translate over well into a good Jill Valentine as well. Not I'm sorry, the Vanessa chick on that Van Helsing show. I fucking hate that broad. I hate that character. She sucks. They need to just kill her off and let Scarlet be the main, the showrunner. Because I hate that Vanessa character. To like, it's like I hate her. The grit. But anyways, Lindsay Funke, I've seen her in a couple of things, but she's most notable. I mostly know her from the Nikita television series when they rebooted it, and I like again she has that strong, courageous feel to her that she can play. She can give to the character, but also at moments being vulnerable, also being sympathetic and stuff like that. So both of these chicks have played some pretty tough characters while maintaining emotional depth to them. So I really wouldn't mind either one of these two actresses to pick up the reins in a reboot for Jill Valentine. Now I did like the fact that Jill was a bit level-headed. Now one of the things about that I didn't like the character about the character is how that she was written into the films. Mostly, she doesn't have a big role. I mean, she has a big role, yes, but one of the biggest problems to the films is Alice. And I love the character of Alice. I think she's a pretty cool character, but unfortunately, she overshadows everyone. And Jill is probably the only character in this entire series that doesn't fully get overshadowed by her because she does have these pretty cool moments. But Alice does end up, completely overshadowing her. When you get introduced to a character and she walks to the police station and starts gunning down those zombies that are in there, which those police guys are fucking idiots. You got these people turning into zombies and you're just looking stupid. Not acting like you don't know how to control them, but okay, fine. And she just guns them down. She's like, yes, she's going to do some stuff. And in the movie, she does get to do some stuff, but it's so focused on Alice, it does take away from one of the biggest missteps. It was a pretty cool scene, but one of the biggest missteps they did in the Resident Evil Apocalypse was the liquor scene, and it's because Jill didn't get out of the situation herself and had to be saved by Alice that it messes up that scene. So that was one of my biggest problems with just the overall point of her role being in these films is that she just completely overshadowed. Now they do a better job of portraying her and giving her more screen time and putting her in the spotlight in Retribution, and you get to see her kick Alice's ass essentially. So that made up for it, and that's I really like that. You know what I'm saying? She does have some pretty cool moments, some pretty fun moments here and there. But I wish there was a bit more to it. Like I wish there was a bit more. She in Retribution is like because of the character, because of the character she played in the film, she had presence, but she didn't have enough presence. Like, if you get what I'm saying, like it was pretty cool seeing her as this mind controlled, brainwashed Jill, but she doesn't really do. She doesn't have like really cool moments, like really badass speeches or something. I don't know, but then again, in Resident Evil 5, Jill Jill was in the game, and you really didn't get to see her have like really cool moments as well either. So I could kind of forget that, but she does get the badass moment and the best spotlight in Retribution. But if you want actual character depth and stuff, you'll see more of that in Apocalypse. Now, what they could have done better with the character, of course, is do a story, do a story a little bit better, because the overall story doesn't translate well over into the films. In the first movie, of course, everything follows Alice, but in the second movie, they kind of retconned the first movie where they were talking about their zombies in the Alkali Mountains. But if you play the games, you realize that Jill was actually in the mansion and not Alice, because Alice is an original character for the films. But Jill is actually was actually in the mountains and stuff, so she encountered the zombies first. But in the film, you're like, well, the zombies were encountered in the mountains. But I'm like, no, because the first movie established that the zombies were in the city, started off in the city. So how could Jill have encountered them in the mountains when they first yes, they were in the mountains in the first one, but the zombies weren't invading the city until what went on in the city. In the games, the zombies were in the mountains first. In the movie, the zombies were in the mountains first. But you know what? I think I'm trying to think of how to say it. No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure because there was a way to get to the. There was a way to get to the from the mountains. There was an entrance from the mountains. There had to be an entrance from the city as well, because the facility was literally under the city, and it wouldn't make sense for the one way to get there is from just the house. But they did say they opened up the houses, the thing for the house, right? So I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know. The whole story is a little bit mixed up, and it's a bit different from the games because the actual breakout happened in the city, and it was because of rats that were infected with the G virus, and that's how it spread across the city. But the film kind of makes it like all the zombies came from the mountains or whatever, from the entrance from the mountains, which I still don't understand how in the hell all of those zombies and lickers and stuff traveled up that long pipe, that long tunnel just to get out. But okay, that's why I'm like, it kind of doesn't really make sense. But anyway, I actually thought she was pretty cool. The problem is I have with the whole Jill Valentine character is that she's completely overshadowed. Sienna Guillory is sexy. She definitely portrays the role. And if there was anyone that they did a fantastic job of perfectly portraying, it was actually her. Now, would I like to have seen a bit more? Yes. Yes, I wanted to see her do a lot more, especially concerning her, killography that's in the game. So I would have liked to see her kick some more butt and everything. And as far as the overall look, I understand that they're paying homage to the video games, but you're in a zombie apocalypse, so having a lot of skin show ain't always necessarily the best option. She's sexy as hell. She looks just like the character. But I that's pretty much all I have to say with this character ranker. Now, how would I rank Sienna Guillory as Jill Valentine? I can actually say that I would give her a 4 out of 5. I'm actually thinking more of like a 5 out of 5, but like I said, the films, they don't give her enough to do. And plus how random the films are too. She's in one film, and then she's not in the first one, she's in the second one, she's not in the third one, she's not in the fourth, she's in the fourth one. No, she wasn't in the fourth one. She was in the fifth one. So you don't really get enough time to actually see her like be awesome and kick ass and everything. Though I read the books and she has a bigger role in the books. In terms of what's going on in the background. So, but anyways, in terms of the films, I would give Sienna Guillory's performance as Jill Valentine in the Resident Evil film series a 4 out of 5. Is she one of the best video game adapted characters in film? I would say yes. Yeah, if you don't like the films, I can understand. There's a lot of kooky stuff that they go out there on a lot of in a lot of instances, subplots, just a lot of just crazy stuff that doesn't make any sense. But I enjoy the film, and one of the reasons is because of her, because she does a great job as Jill Valentine. So, guys, in the comment section below, let me know what are your thoughts about Sienna Guillory's performance as Jill Valentine. Do you think she hit the mark? Do you think she missed the mark? What do you think they could have done better with her character in the series? And also, be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and that notification button to get the best of what we got popping on this channel. And we'll catch you guys later.